Hi everyone, it is finally nice enough to continue our cleaning process. I'm a little embarrassed of how terrible this area looks, but really there isn't anything you can do when it is so cold and the ground is frozen. But I did pick up some beautiful plants today. My first batch of the season. These are pansies. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. And then I got some of the false cypress. I got two of those. Those are perennials, but the pansies here are annuals. I also picked up a couple little tulip bulbs that have some sprouts on it. And I also picked up a purple pansy as well. So the flowers are going to go in those big pots that I just showed you, and we're really just going to clean up all of the leaves and get the pots in order, extension cords, everything that you see here, we are going to clean it up. I'm also going to be cleaning this area here. This is a smaller flower bed that we have here in our front with our fountain water feature. We just took an old fountain, an antique fountain, and turned it into a water feature. So it's kind of really fun experiment that we did. My husband rigged it to where we could have running water in the front. But this area is all going to change. This summer, we are going to be putting a cover over the top of this patio area. If you are watching any of our videos, would have seen that we took out the lion and the raised flower bed right where the concrete changes in the patio area so we could have an extension. It was so small before, and now we are really wanting to be able to use the front space so we can just enjoy our front yard as well. So, this garden space is not going to look the same. I don't know if we are going to replant it, if we're going to extend the concrete to the curb edge. I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet. Of course, I will find places for all of the flowers that are in here because I absolutely love my heucheras, and I have some yarrow. I have a euonymus shrub. It's very small, and I don't think it likes its spot anyway because it has not grown much in the last few years. So it'll be more likely that it is going to want to go to another spot, and maybe it'll shine in another location. I also have a lattice here with clematis, and this lattice keeps blowing over in the 70-mile-an-hour winds that we just keep having. It's really frightening because I'd had this lattice there for years, and all of a sudden it just cannot survive the the winds that we're getting. It's crazy. So that too may be being relocated to another section, or my husband's going to build a bigger lattice and the clematis can still climb on this space. So, still a lot of plans up in the air right now, but at least we have a quote plan on at least covering this area. The reason why I want it covered is because I am so tired of cleaning up all of the leaves. Uh, because I can't get to the back corner that well with anything, with a leaf blower or anything. Um, the leaf blower is my best option, and we get all of these tiny little leaves from our locust tree. If you are new here, my name is Tina with Dirt Therapy Gardens in eastern Nebraska. We do hardscaping, but I love to share my landscaping and my gardening because I am an avid gardener. We also make concrete products that you can put in your yard: bird baths, benches, pavers, and in fact, here is one of our little dragonfly pavers. It's so darling. I love this style, but we have other ones and larger ones that you can use in your space. One of the most popular ones that we have is a honeycomb bee paver, and that is a really big hit. We also have other products that you can get. We also make faux rock, so there's another product that works perfectly in your garden. We will be doing a makeover in our pond area in the backyard, and we'll really be able to show you how we incorporate the faux rocks in our pond expansion. So that'll be really exciting. That'll be another project that we're going to be doing this summer. For now, we have a few projects planned, big projects, but then we also have our normal garden maintenance, things that we want to get done. Uh, Really just trying to clean things up. We still have part two of the greenhouse, and I know that all of you that have been watching are wondering what has happened to part two of the greenhouse. We are getting to it. The storms and my husband's busy schedule, because of course this is a busy time of year, has really put our projects on a when he can work on it status. That usually happens a lot because of his schedule. We just have learned that if you don't get it done early, if the weather doesn't allow you to get it done earlier, then he's going to lose that time. And that is exactly what has happened. But he's hoping that this upcoming weekend he will be able to do a little bit more of the greenhouse, and I might have a part two to put together for you. So that is coming. We also have an area where we do need a shed. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the shed this year, but we really do need to get something to put our tools in. Another thing that we are focusing on is that we've got some areas where for years I was really into antiquing items and using them in the garden. Now I'm kind of getting away from that style, and it's more of a classic feel in the garden. So I'm at this point in my life where I would want just things to be timeless, classic, and kind of get away from the antique stuff. We have some raised flower beds to eliminate in the backyard, and we also want to make a play area for our grandson. So these are the false cypress that I was talking about. They get to be about 48 inches tall. They can handle our zone here in 6A, and they need to be spaced 6 feet apart because they get pretty wide. So I feel like I can put these in our tree border and they will do fabulously. So I got two of them to fill in some of the areas in the tree border. Some other projects that we have this year is we do need to replace some of our deck boards for our main wood deck that leads right out into the backyard. So we need to get those replaced. We will take you along with that as well. Aren't those pansies absolutely beautiful? I just love the color of those. I am really drawn to pinks and purples, and this one just called out to me. In fact, I like it so much better than the purple and yellow ones that I received, but I absolutely love both of them anyway. At this point, I was just so excited to get my hands on something that was green and flowery because nobody has in our garden centers have it. Our most of our garden centers will not get any type of flowers until mid-April, and I was just so excited. I wanted to get my hands on something, and pansies are really great because they are cold tolerant. If it gets to be too cold, like in the freezing temperatures, I'll just throw a cover on them and they'll be protected. But I really just wanted to get them out. In addition, I am planning on getting my lettuce starts out soon, within the next few days, I hope. And I have cloaks to put over those in the event that it gets too cold. They're nice little mini greenhouses. So it'll be really nice to get the lettuce out there. But I absolutely was excited about how much lettuce we got last year. I grew the butter crunch lettuce, and it is definitely a keeper because we were able to not only make salads, but I made wraps and I made chicken salad and we made used deli meat, and it was just a really great sandwich holder because I don't eat that much bread. So this was a perfect opportunity for me to have sandwiches that are a little bit healthier. Now I'm just blowing off all of the leaves. I really have to do this before I even attempt to plant the pansies and tulips in those containers because they're covered with leaves. And even after I do this, I'm still going to be picking up leaves that have gone up into the air and back down again. So, but at least I'm getting quite a bit of this blown out of here and in piles so I can just deal with all of the leaves and pick them up later. So we are expecting another storm. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to everything, but I'm really attempting to try to get to at least getting this whole area clean. This soot is the weirdest thing that we have seen to date. We had a blizzard come in and it brought all of this red dirt. Now, that is not something that we have here. So, it was not because of anything that is from around here. A rumor was that the windstorms that were in New Mexico blew all of that sand and red clay to our area, which is so weird. Our vehicles are covered with it. All our furniture, if it was not covered, was covered with it. It is just the weirdest thing. I'm finding it all on my concrete pieces as well. I'm just using some bacterial wipes just to get it all nice and clean. And I have to hit the other table and the chairs and get them really clean as well. But at least it is getting done. I'm so excited. Our weather has been so crazy, and I know it just became spring, which I am really happy about, but it has been a pretty roller coaster late winter. We didn't get our first snow until mid February, and then it really decided to show up. So we got a few snowstorms in there while the 80 degrees was showing up a couple days only to get a blizzard the very next day. So we are definitely glad that spring is here. Hopefully, it brings us a lot of moisture, which is what we truly need. We have been in a drought for a few years now. So having some moisture is very welcomed. I'm moving over into this little corner over here, and it is a place where I just kind of throw things when I don't know where I want to put them. In the clay terracotta pot that you see, it broke over the winter. So I had to throw that away. But this one here where I'm cleaning it out, that is a hosta and it comes back every year and it is absolutely beautiful. And then the other one I use for annuals. Last year I planted some angelonia in there, but however, I don't know what I'm going to plant this year, seeing as if we're going to do a part two remodel on this area with the cover, I don't know what plants I will put in there. We're still going to have the corrugated panels on the top of the pergola, which will allow for that protection, and it will still allow us to have plenty of light coming in there. I know it looks funny that I'm blowing it from inside the house, but realistically, it's the easiest way to get all of the leaves that are up by the front door. It really works great to do it that way. Now is on to the fun part. I get to start planting the pansies and look at these root systems. I mean, these things are massive root bound. I think that they're going to be just absolutely gorgeous in these pots here. Now, I have my plant tone. I don't have it a bag opened of the biotone, which is what I usually use. So I'm just going to use plant tone today. It is an organic fertilizer. I just reuse the same potting soil that I did last year by but by adding some of the fertilizer back in, that's going to give a really great start to the plants. I just rub it in within the next couple inches of soil, and then I will start planting all of my plants here. Here's my tulips. They are a purple color. I think they're going to go really well with all of the pink pansies that I have in these containers. I also have purple and gold pansies, but they're going to go back in the elevated garden in the backyard. So I will take you along when I plant those with some beautiful daffodils that I got. I also got another set of some perennials, my first perennial batch of the season, and I will also be showing you my planting on those. I have been doing a lot of garden cleanup. And I didn't want to take you along with all of my garden cleanup. However, I will be taking you along when I start working on Garden Avenue. This is a Proven Winners plant food, and I put this in with all of my annuals in containers. This really helps them, and this is a what they look like. It's like little beads almost, and I just sprinkle them on the top. You could just leave them there, and that will give them an additional amount of fertilizer. Even though I've added it to the soil, I still like to add additional fertilizer to the annuals. This just gives them a little bit of extra boost. What is your favorite annual to plant in the spring? I'd love to hear your comments on what items that you plant. Unfortunately, at this time of the year, it's really hard for us to get a hold of anything besides pansies and tulips. But I did stop at my local Menards and I found some other plants. So I am really excited. If spring is here, and I will be planting up so much more coming very soon. I also am really close to planting my veggies outside, my spring vegetables. I have several different types of cabbage, lettuce, and I am getting really excited to get them out into the garden, which I will also be taking you along with me. I have so many projects. Spring is typically the busiest time of year for me to get gardening done, get things planted, rearrange things, transplant, give things away, split, you name it. That's when all of the activity happens in spring. So now I am all done with these containers. I think that they look absolutely beautiful, and I know that they're going to look beautiful for this spring. Just another look at those purple ones. And here is the final result of our small front yard patio. I think it looks so much better. I feel like it is ready to go, and we can just come and sit out here. In fact, yesterday we sat out in this area for quite a while after this has been cleaned. That is going to do it for today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Have a great garden day.